what's up everybody? I hope you're doing good. Zack, Mwekassa. It's a beautiful day. We are faced with FIKILE MBALULA, Secretary General of the ANC of South Africa. This is Nelson Mandela political party. He is the current Secretary General. He was faced with journalists from BBC on what they call hard talk, where usually they will have a discussion where they will try to beat you up mentally and morally. You know, they come very strong. We're going to listen to this and make a comment right after. Let's go.
To Vladimir Putin's Russia, despite the Russian all-out invasion of Ukraine.
We have explained those issues. Our government is dealing with those matters with the United States of America. We are not locked in any dispute of any form. And we are non-aligned when it comes to the conflict in Russia. And that is the line we're pursuing.
Well,
basically what's happening here is there was a discussion a few weeks ago, I don't know if you remember, where the ambassador of the United States accused South Africa of sending weapons to Russia. And the South African government was not happy about that. They called the ambassador of the United States for explanation. He went in and explained himself and he said he was sorry for not following the procedure, the diplomatic procedure, which is talking appropriately with government before stating anything that's outrageous. So now they're questioning the Secretary General about the issue that occurred with the US ambassador. Let's follow.
For a start, the US ambassador here in South Africa said that he had evidence that weapons had been loaded onto a Russian...
I met with him yesterday. He apologized for being overzealous and saying things that he shouldn't have said.
Yeah, you say he's apologized. We have not heard him himself issue an apology.
Well, I am saying to you, he have apologized. I met him right here in the Revolutionary House yesterday.
Your government has launched an investigation about that alleged weapons shipment.
It is correct.
Can you categorically guarantee to me here and now, as the head of the ANC, that no weapons were put on board that vessel?
Our government has reassured the ANC that there is nothing to the truth about weapons being exchanged between our country.
I phrased my question carefully. Can you now categorically say no weapons were put on board that?
Can you categorically say? Listen to this man.
I've explained to you.
I've explained. When an African starts saying stuttering, you know he's about to get pissed off. And this brother, this uncle out here, was not happy about it.
To you, that there is a...
Then again, he calms himself down. Be careful. I'm explaining to you, like, don't try that again.
Action that has been taken by our government in terms of investigating.
South Africa is a treaty member of the International Criminal Court. If Putin comes here in August, as planned, your government will be obliged to arrest him. As head of the ANC, do you believe your government should and indeed will arrest Vladimir Putin?
If it was according to the ANC, we will want President Putin to be here even tomorrow.
Wow, you hear that? So if it was according to the ANC, we would want President Putin to be here even tomorrow. That's so much defiance, and it's beautiful to see that. That's showing you know what, we're not afraid of you. If it was up to us, we'll have him tomorrow. How about that?
You would?
To come to our country. But
you would welcome Vladimir Putin here right now?
Of course we will.
You would welcome that criminal?
Being investigated for war crimes by the International Criminal Court.
We will welcome him to come here as part and parcel of BRICS, but we know that we are constrained by the ICC in terms of doing that. Putin is a head of state. Do you think that a head of state can just be arrested anywhere?
You see the calm in this man. It's just amazing.
How many crimes have your country committed in Iraq?
How many crimes have you committed in Iraq?
How many crimes have everyone else who's so vocal today committed in Iraq and Afghanistan? Have you arrested them? You
know the impact that this stand of yours...
You're making a lot of noise about putting in state of working for peace between Ukraine and Russia.
Ooh, the uncle is on.
And you failed to resolve the war. Where are the weapons of mass destruction?
Where are the weapons of mass destruction? You remember, I don't know if you do, before the US went to war, the US under the government of George Bush.
I take the threat very seriously. I take the fact that he develops weapons of mass destruction.
Went to war in Iraq. They said they had intelligence that confirm presence of weapons of mass destruction. Of course, they had to sell something to the world to justify the war. They went to Iraq and many people passed away. Many people died. Where were the weapons of mass destruction? We're still waiting up until today. Where are they?
Tony Blair went to Iraq and claimed that they are weapons of mass destruction. Did you see anybody standing against that in the United Kingdom?
Nobody!
And Britain? More than millions of people have died in Iraq and Afghanistan, and there are no weapons of mass destruction.
I guess they don't mean anything because they're not from Europe.
We know what the war is about.
Mr. Secretary General.
Look at the face of the journalist. Oh yeah, you got me there.
Mr. Secretary General.
Between Russia and Ukraine, we want peace. That's what is important, so that the world can thrive. And organs and institutions of the world that institute world peace must not be conspicuous by their silence in deciding decisively.
We don't have much time left. I want to bring it back to...
He's trying to divide him, to literally take him away from the question. So this is what they do. If you catch them, they will try to distract you. If not distract you, they will try to interrupt you. So you just interrupted them. No. Coming back to other issues.
Not much time left. I want to bring it back to domestic South African politics before we end.
Oh, domestic South Africa. Let's not talk about Iraq. Let's not talk about all the other countries or Afghanistan. Let's talk about South Africa because you got a point right there. That's what we're talking about, fellas. I like this. I like the strength that FIKILE MBALULA has shown in this interview. I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to take this interview. You call it hard talk. I'm going to show you what hard talk is all about. I think it takes us to the analogy where they say lies is like a rabbit and the truth is like a lion. Lies is like a rabbit and the truth is like a lion. Why? A rabbit is weak. Okay? A rabbit, you cannot release a rabbit without looking after it. When the rabbit goes down to the street, it must be very afraid, it must be protected, or else the rabbit's going to get killed by eagles, by hawks, could be get killed by cats, by dogs, by so many other animals. The rabbit is very weak, it's very fragile, could get killed by anything. The truth is like a lion. The truth doesn't need to be supported. The truth supports itself. Now you release a lion in the street and see who's going to stop it. Nobody's going to stop it. Okay, so we faced here with the hypocrisy of the world compared to the truth that's coming to light right now. And FIKILE MBALULA said it very clearly. Why haven't you arrested these guys on the other side? Tony Blair has not been arrested. Bush has not been arrested by the ICC. Nobody has made a noise about it. Why do you want to make a noise about this man? If it was up to us, he would come to South Africa tomorrow. We'll have him. We'll be happy to host him and have him here. And I think this is a matter of choice and respect. You can't talk about democracy if you do not respect other people's choices. And as you know, fellas, we're living in a world where some group of people are trying to force other people to live exactly like them, to have the same sort of beliefs like them, to have the same sort of governments like them. I don't think you can uniform the whole world. It doesn't work that way. Everybody has their cultures. Everybody has their own tradition, their way of life that function. You don't have to bring us your tradition saying that's the right tradition or your way of seeing life. No. If it works for us, that's okay. Do you remember Muammar Gaddafi? They called him all sort of names, criminal, dictator, all that stuff. Do you remember? Let me just put it into perspective. Muammar Gaddafi in his Libya gave opportunities to Libyans. Whenever a Libyan got married, they gave them $5,000. $5,000 to start a life. They were given an apartment for free by the government. Libya never paid tax. Yes, there was no tax in Libya. And petrol or whatever you call it, gas, was almost free of charge. Yeah, you could actually pay almost nothing for gas because there was so much of it. Libya used to be a dry country. Yeah, there was no water. And Gaddafi made sure to irrigate water from the coast, from the sea, from the ocean into the country in one of the biggest projects ever. And then Libyans could live in a very peaceful, in a very beautiful place. Libyans who wanted to work in agriculture were given lands and machineries and whatever they needed to grow into that business. They were given coaches to teach them how to do agriculture. That's the world of Libya with Gaddafi. Again, props to FIKILE MBALULA for showing to the world what a strong African leader should be. And this should serve as a lesson to many African nationals on how to stand for yourselves. Let me know how you feel about this. Drop a comment. If you want to join us in our venture, you want to be part of this community, you're welcome. Thank you very much. My name is Zack Mwekassa. God bless.